Here's the surprising thing about the UK weather on Monday the 15th of June. Depending on where you are, today could feel like two completely different countries. While someone in Kent is reaching for sun cream, someone in the Scottish Highlands may be reaching for a waterproof. That's because a classic northwest to southeast split is dominating the map right now, and it sets the tone for the whole day. The bigger story, though, is what's brewing just behind it. Forecasters are tracking a surge of warm continental air that's set to build through the week, with temperatures potentially climbing towards 30 to 31 degrees Celsius in the south by Wednesday and Thursday. So today is the calm, warm prelude to a genuine spell of summer heat. Let's break down exactly what to expect, region by region, hour by hour, so you know whether it's shorts or an umbrella before you step out the door. Across the UK as a whole, high pressure is becoming increasingly dominant through this stretch of mid-June, which typically means drier and more settled conditions for most of us. From around the 11th to the 21st of June, that ridge of high pressure is doing the heavy lifting, keeping the worst of the Atlantic weather systems at bay. For today, that translates into a largely fine day for central, southern and eastern areas, with plenty of warm sunshine breaking through. Winds are light for the majority, though it stays a touch breezier along North Sea coasts, which can knock the edge off the temperature if you're right on the front. The key word for today is warm rather than hot. We're not in heatwave territory just yet, but it's comfortably above the seasonal norm for many. Mid-June would usually bring highs of around 20 to 21 degrees in London, and today nudges past that in the sunnier spots. If you're in the north and west of the UK, today is the less generous side of the deal. Areas including Western Scotland, Northern Ireland, Northwest England, and parts of Wales are most likely to stay cloudier, with spells of rain pushing through. Some of that rain could turn heavy at times, and it arrives alongside a noticeably fresher, breezier feel. This is the leading edge of weather systems trying to nudge in from the Atlantic, and they run straight into that block of high pressure further southeast. The result is a frontal boundary draped across the country. So in Glasgow, Belfast, or the Lake District, don't be fooled by the calendar. Keep a jacket handy and expect outbreaks of rain rather than wall-to-wall sunshine. Temperatures here are more muted too, sitting closer to the mid to high teens. It's a reminder that even in a warming spell, the UK rarely warms up evenly from coast to coast. Now for the favoured corner of the country. Across southern and southeastern Britain, today is warm, often sunny, and increasingly humid. London, the southeast, East Anglia, and the East Midlands are sitting under the most settled air, soaking up long spells of sunshine. As that warm air feeds in, you'll start to notice the humidity creeping up, the kind of sticky, close feeling that makes the temperature feel even higher than the thermometer reads. For many in the south, today is a genuinely lovely early summer day, perfect for parks, beer gardens, and the coast. But that rising humidity is also a clue to what's coming. Warm, moist air is the fuel for thunderstorms, and as the week progresses the atmosphere becomes more unstable. Enjoy the clean, bright conditions today, because the south is also the region where the building heat will peak hardest later in the week. Here's why today matters as a stepping stone. A plume of warm air is forecast to push into southern Britain from around the 17th of June, reaching its peak on the 18th. At that point, temperatures could hit 31 degrees Celsius across parts of England, with the highest readings centred on Greater London and the southeast. The most intense heat is expected to focus on East Anglia, the southeast and parts of the East Midlands. To put that in context, 30 degrees in mid-June is well above the long-term average and firmly in heatwave conversation for the south. This fits the wider trend, too. The Met Office has flagged that 2026 is likely to be another year running above 1.4 degrees of warming globally, and the UK has already seen notably warm spells earlier this spring. So today's pleasant warmth is, in effect, the opening act for the real heat arriving midweek. With heat and humidity comes a sting in the tail. As that hot, moist air meets incoming Atlantic systems later in the week, thunderstorms can develop, sometimes quite vigorously. Forecasters are already highlighting the risks that come with them: flash flooding from sudden downpours, lightning strikes, hail, and travel disruption in affected areas. For today specifically, the thundery risk is low for most, but it's worth keeping on your radar if you're planning ahead for the next few days. These storms can be hit and miss, drenching one town while leaving the next bone dry, which makes them notoriously tricky to pin down. The practical advice is simple. Keep an eye on any Met Office warnings as the week unfolds, especially across the south and east where the heat is most intense. If you hear thunder, the safest place is indoors, and avoid sheltering under isolated trees in open ground. Don't underestimate the sun itself today. We're less than a week from the summer solstice on the 21st of June, the longest day of the year, when the UK enjoys well over 16 hours of daylight. That means the sun sits high in the sky and UV levels are at their annual peak, often reaching high on the index even when the air doesn't feel especially hot. So in the sunnier south and east, sunburn is a real possibility within a couple of hours around midday. Stay sensible, use sun cream, wear a hat, and seek shade in the early afternoon. With humidity rising, hydration matters more than usual, so carry water if you're out for the day. And if you're in a flat or older building, the heat can build indoors overnight. Opening windows in the cooler early morning and closing curtains during the day genuinely helps keep rooms comfortable. So, to sum up today, Monday the 15th of June. It's a tale of two halves, warm, sunny and humid across the south and east, cloudier with spells of rain in the north and west, all governed by high pressure that's keeping things broadly settled for now. Think pleasant rather than scorching. But the real headline is the trajectory. This warmth is the foundation for a building heatwave that could push the mercury to 30 or 31 degrees in the south by Wednesday and Thursday, before the humidity sparks a risk of thunderstorms. The single most useful thing you can do is plan around the trend, make the most of today's clean, bright weather, prepare for genuine heat midweek, and stay alert for storm warnings after that. If this breakdown helped you plan your day, keep it in mind, because the next few days are when UK summer really shows up.